Hello, everybody. Um, I'm going to do a reaction video of something that I guess made my friend have a panic attack. It was something about somebody putting honey on a fucking keyboard. And I just looked at the first comment in the comment section on this video, and it talked about the honey on keyboard part. So I'm going to do a reaction of this video because it's a blacksmith makes a Viking axe. I saw the thumbnail, and the thumbnail looked actually pretty good. I like the aftermath. So I guess let's just get started.
Hi. How you going? You know what was great? Arts and crafts as a kid. I miss it. There's nothing more entertaining than getting a bunch of toddlers, pasta, paint, and a liter of glue and mixing them all together in a classroom to release their creativity. And what made it even better was that the materials were usually food products, meaning if you ever got hungry, you could just eat some.
That's what I did in elementary school, is just eat the fucking um materials for arts and crafts.
Pasta or some glue. But arts and crafts is a bit different now as adults, as building materials aren't really edible. And adult glue isn't quite the same either. It's also become quite gendered. The men don't play with pasta towers anymore, it's just not masculine enough. So instead, their arts and crafts involve danger and hitting things together with fire and hammers. So today, I'm going to do some of this kind of crafting, while also enjoying a wide selection of glues. Okay, now I'm not a very good blacksmith. I've only done it a couple of times and my products were pretty garbage. But regardless, I found it fun and want to do it again. And this time, I want to make something that looks impressive, that involves moving a lot of metal. Maybe a nice big double-headed axe. Do I need an axe? No. I've got a chainsaw for cutting trees. And I also don't need to chop firewood to keep warm, as my government is doing a great job of keeping the country nice and toasty by themselves. And now that I think about it, I'm not sure why double-headed axes exist. Yes, they look cool, but so does this axe pistol. Like, when would it actually be practical to have two heads? Like, unless you're a super talented lumberjack that's able to cut two trees at once with a beautiful front and back motion. But besides that, it just seems like extra weight to carry.
Actually, I imagine that having a double-headed axe is more so for battle, because axes were used for weaponry back whenever they existed. So, yeah. Yeah.
Around, and a great way to axe yourself in the face. So yeah, I kind of just talked myself out of building a two-headed axe, but I still want an axe that I can shake out the car window at crappy drivers. Now my plan was to get my granddad's old hammerheads, flatten them both down into axe shapes, and then weld them together, and then slap on a handle. But then I remembered what he wrote in his will. And he might see this video and I don't want to get in trouble. So my backup plan is to go scavenge some stuff. Alright, now usually when I'm loot hunting, I find it best to go after or before a storm so it feels more dramatic. Then find a big old building, abandoned thing, or anything spooky and man-made. Now what I'm looking for is any scraps of metal left over from the building of this overpass. And what I really want to find is some eye-bar or flat bar. So usually when I'm exploring and the location gets spooky and dark, I find it helps if you walk in with confidence and loudly say something to scare away any stoners or bandits.
Hello? This is the police. I have a gun and I'm gonna start shooting.
Okay, now I'm mostly just finding plastic rubbish, wood, and rebar. But hang on, what's that over there? Near the wall, is that?
Use the rebar. That's metal, I'm pretty sure.
Is that the piece of metal I placed there earlier for this video? Wow, what are the chances of finding that? So now I've got my piece of flat steel. The new plan is to follow this origami tutorial on making axes, and just fold this metal bar over like a piece of paper until I get an axe.
Seems legit.
Rust water and think yuck, and throw it away. But you are wasting a miracle drink. My family usually decants the liquid into some jars.
And thus he died of fucking rust poisoning, fucking tetanus and some shit.
And then we add some to our morning coffee. And we've been doing this for generations, and all of us have lived long, happy lives, free from iron deficiencies. Now the metal is nice and clean, I'm just going to trace my axe onto the flat metal and then just cut it out with scissors, calling me an artisan of welding.
And this piece is from a true artisan. His artworks look impossible, combining metal objects that contrast and complement each other so beautifully. Each world has an aura of uncertainty. Will it hold, or will
Those look like fucking nails.
a light gust of wind cause it to fall apart? Some say that the fragile nature of his art is a representation of the artist's life.
Excuse me, could I get another olive in my drink?
Sorry sir, but we have a 12 olive limit per customer.
Oh, okay.
And next.
And this is my axe eye punch, not the worst weld. So in order to continue my axe origami, we need to head over to the big bad forge. Mostly bad. So I'm placing it in the forge so that only the center thinnest bit heats up, and give it the old bend around. And this is actually much easier than I was expecting. I just kind of hit it a couple of times in the middle, and then on the top. And I have somehow managed to fold it over evenly, and now have something that slightly resembles an axe, which for me is impressive. And I should probably stop now and say I'm done, because it's definitely all downhill from here. As the next bit is going to be sketchy, is I need to connect the two sides using a tricky technique I have never done and am not qualified to do. The forge weld. And whenever you see people successfully forge weld on YouTube, they don't have the appearance of real people. They all look like kind of blacksmithing dwarves that somehow snuck out of Tolkien's universe into ours in order to start a YouTube channel. And they're always surrounded by heavy machinery and covered in soot, like they sleep on a hotbed of coals with a hammer under their pillow. And this is intimidating.
AKA, they look fucking badass.
Because I only do one of these things. But I also know that all they're actually doing is getting stuff hot and then hitting it together hard enough until it's squished and sticks. So, and the axe survived and now has a hardened edge, but it has some dodgy looking cracks, which I'm going to ignore and move on to the handle. So this is the wooden handle I'm using, which I crafted earlier while you were watching the rest of the video. And because I'm not happy with the axe head, I'm going to take the approach of every WOG family that owns a house in a crap area and overcompensate by blinging it out as a distraction. But first, I'm going to attach the head to the handle with a wedge to stop it flying away like my last axe. Now I'm going full Viking and will do a leather wrap down the handle with some shiny nails. And to be authentic, I decided to get my leather straight from the source and went down to the supermarket and bought it from right next to the stake. And as I'm twisting the leather down the handle in a cross pattern, I'm using little nails to crucify it in place. And now for the finishing touch, which is something to catch your eye, but not like my last video. So I've decided to etch on my logo, and my options are to use acid or a Dremel tool.
Honey. Are you a mindless consumer that loves buying crap on the internet? Well, today's sponsor, Honey, is perfect for you. You know, when honey was first found by mankind, it was only utilized as a sweetener to make dirt more edible. But now it does so much more than that. Honey is a free online shopping tool that automatically finds the best promo codes on the internet and applies them to your cart. Here, let me show you how this works. All you do is you put Honey on your computer like this, and then it's just there, always on your computer. And then whenever you do anything, like go to your favorite sites like